Joining us now live on the South Shores Morning News, we have special guest, Plymouth County District Attorney Tim Cruz. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Christine.
I wanted to follow up with you on a case we've been following, which was a very sad story, which was back on Saturday with a shooting at the Westgate Mall, with two teenagers that were shot, both of whom died, and your office named a suspect, and that was 22-year-old Davinci Leonard.
Right.
But he has disappeared.
Yeah, the investigation is certainly open and active, and we're still continuing to pursue all leads to make sure that we can get the person that we believe is accountable for this action. And so, I mean, I commend the Brockton Police, the Massachusetts State Police. We have our Violent Fugitive Apprehension Squad that's out looking, and I'm sure and I'm confident that eventually we'll get them.
And it was a 15-year-old victim, Tamari Albertson, and an 18-year-old, Savannah Alvarez. Just kids out having fun at some of the local attractions there. Was it some big episode that started this? Was it just kids fighting? What happened?
Well, once again, as in most of these situations, it's real. From what we can gather so far, it is an altercation that escalated, and unfortunately, a weapon was pulled, and this terrible event happened. So that's why it's important for people to understand that there is gun violence, unfortunately, in our country, in our state, and that we need to make sure that we make an aggressive stand going after individuals who are dealing with illegal, unlawful firearms in our community and are willing to take them out and hurt people, innocent people, and that's really what we're dealing with.
And the 22-year-old suspect, again, Davinci Leonard, facing multiple charges. I believe it starts with 2 counts of murder.
Right. The 2 counts of murder, and there's other ancillary charges that will come out of that also. And like I said, I think the police are doing a fine job in narrowing things down. I'm informed every day what the next step is and where we're going. And our prosecutors talk to all the different detectives involved in it, and I'm very confident and optimistic that we'll get them.
Now, another part of what your office focuses on, of course, is helping children who've been in very difficult situations. And I know that down in Plymouth, which probably a lot of people don't know about unless they're actually, involved in this day-to-day, is your CAC, or Children's Advocacy Center. Tell our listeners a little bit about it and why it's so important.
Yeah, the Plymouth County Children's Advocacy Center has been up and running in our county for almost the last 25 years. We've been in Brockton for the last, up through 2023. We just moved down to Plymouth on Water Street, down that neck of the woods, and it's been great. And really what it is, we're helping, it's a multidisciplinary response to individuals who have been physically or sexually abused, young kids under the age of 18. And it's so important to get these kids the help that they need, because if you don't help the kids, even if you can't prosecute the case, and most of these times, unfortunately, you can't prosecute the case. The kids can't go forward. The kids can't speak. The kids aren't mentally ready to go forward. But it's really important to get them the help, because if you don't, it's not unusual for today's victims to turn into tomorrow's perpetrators. We have to stop cycles of domestic violence. We have to stop cycles of child abuse. I think it's a great step for that.
Now, when you say Children's Advocacy Center, what types of professionals work out of there? Is it just social workers, or is it more than that?
No, we have trained investigators. We have SANE investigators, sexual assault investigators who deal with children, so that if something does happen to them. And in the past, one of the reasons why the CAC was up and running, not just in our county but all throughout our state and our country, is trying to make sure these kids didn't have to keep repeating the story. Because it used to be, prior to the CAC, if a young child had been hurt, many times the first place to disclose would be the school to the teacher would tell the nurse what happened, tell the principal what happened, tell so-and-so, and after a while the kid doesn't want to talk anymore. So we're dealing with trained investigators, forensic investigators, who will talk to these children, that know how to talk to them in our facility down there, making sure that we can get them the services that they need. It's trauma-informed center. It is a child-friendly sort of place. It's something that we can help those children. And I think in working together, we've been able to see our numbers go down. But still, last year we had more than 1,000 kids that went through it from Plymouth County. And that's just our county. And every day there's issues that are going on. And there's a lot of kids that need a lot of help. And I hope that to some small measure we're providing some of that.
Now, there's an open house there. Is that for professionals in the industry? How does that work?
It's an open house for our community partners. We deal with family and community resources and school superintendents. They'll be invited. We've invited personnel from our trial courts to come down there and see what's going on, and exactly the things that are used from the professional examinations that may go on either there or at the hospitals, making sure these kids can get the physical help that they need, but also hoping they get the mental health issues that they have to deal with, because this sort of conduct upon a young child is so traumatic, and we have to help them. And I think, like I said, I think we've been able to do that, and I'm hopeful that we can continue to work with everybody together and help these kids.
Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel? Do you see more of an awareness about bad situations that kids may be in, young children may be in, with people ready to respond more who maybe would have been afraid to even make a phone call 20 years ago?
Yeah, we do all sorts of, as part and parcel of the CAC, we do all sorts of educational programs, and we go to the schools and we talk to the people who are with the kids, making sure that they understand what to look for, whether it be dating violence for kids that may be older, because it's 18 and under, or children who are younger than that, what to look for. And when we do that, much like when we do human trafficking seminars, you see a lot of calls coming in because people, perhaps it was right in front of them, they didn't see it. And how do you help a small child? And when we go to schools, and I go to schools a lot and talk to the teachers and tell them that, and they realize that many times for some of these kids, the only caring person in their life is their school teacher. And so that it's really our responsibility to collectively work together to get them the help that they need so we can stop these cycles.
If somebody needs more information or wants to contact the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, how do they do that?
You can always go online, PlymouthDA.com, or you can always give us a call. We have somebody on call, 508-584-8120.
Again, that's Plymouth County District Attorney Tim Cruz. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be back with traffic and weather right after this.